Hi, we're going to continue our discussion of the civil rights era. We are going to read the book Claudette Colvin, Twice Towards Justice. This book tells the story of a 15-year-old girl who is one of the plaintiffs in the Montgomery bus boycott case. She actually came before Rosa Parks, but because she was younger, she got a lot of less attention than Rosa Parks did, but she did many of the same things and was a huge player at such a young age in the civil rights movement. We are going to engage while reading through this book through thinking about our connections in the world. So we've talked a lot about our text-to-text connections, our text-to-self connections, and our text-to-the-world connections. So while you're reading each chapter, you are going to be in charge of making one of those three connections. You will get about half a thing of sticky notes. So you'll have 3 sticky notes per chapter, and you will need to make one text-to-text, one text-to-self, and one text to the world. Text to text can come from the information that we've previously learned about the civil rights movement and the Birmingham bus boycotts. Text to self can be any relationship to yourself, anything that strikes a tone with you. And then text to world would be relations to things that are happening in our larger world. So maybe other protests that we've heard about happening recently. You're going to fill out your sticky note. So you're going to have the page number, the paragraph number, whether it's a text-to-text, a text-to-self, or a text-to-world, and then a description of that connection that you're making. Then at the end of each chapter, when you've made those 3 connections, we're going to have a whole wall of connections that we've made. You're going to stick your sticky note on the proper page, so either the text-to-text, the text-to-self, the text-to-world poster page, and then we'll be able to analyze all of the connections that as a class we've made for this book. So here's my example. So my first text-to-self connection comes right away. It's chapter 1, page 2, paragraph 1. It's a text-to-self connection, so I wrote that on my sticky note as well. I relate to Claudette's story of when she gets slapped by her mother in the grocery store because she didn't realize that you weren't supposed to touch white people. So I've never experienced that, but I do have a very clear memory of being quite young and saying a bad word at the dinner table, and my parents yelled. And never again did I forget the power of that word. And just like Claudette, never again did she forget the power that race has in our world during this time. And so I made that text-to-text connection, used both sides, and then I'll stick that right up on our connections board. We'll have one on every page, and we'll be able to analyze that whole class connection as we go through.